Sorry.
That's okay. Let's see. Online, it looks like we have Andrew Chorney, Christina Dobar, Dustin Pulver, Alicia Beckles, Irene Wara, Jamie Erbacher, Jenny Daniel, Kyla Leonards, MCAT, Melissa Fisher, and my Commissioner Slotnick and Vero, Allison France, Harry Powers, Jenna, Brenna Davis, sorry, Brenna, Ann Hughes, John Hart, Maddie Scott, Annie Kathy, and Chris Lounsbury.
Awesome, thank you. Is there any public comment on items not on the agenda? Okay, we have consent agenda, 7 items. Anything that needs to be pulled out or discussed separately?
Consent agenda item number 1 is a duplicate of action item 2. We're just going to pull that one.
Oh, okay, dokie.
I'm really excited about a whole bunch of these. That just applaud them. Number 3, we've waited for years to pull off.
Yes.
And then a bunch of good stuff through Chantel's world that I'm really excited to see happen.
And I'm excited about SBC's bylaws.
Great.
Way to go, Swan
Way
Valley.
to go, Swan Valley. All right, I would move we pass this consent agenda.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Action items. John Hart.
Yes, the first action item I have, Commissioners, is a subdivision improvements agreement and guarantee for Phase 3 of Missoula Meadowlands. Subdivision, Missoula Meadowlands is the subdivision formerly known as Running W
That's what I thought you were saying.
Ranch subdivision. And the developer that has a very interesting corporate name, Track 2 COS 6492 LLC.
Very specific.
Yep. I think that probably helps their bookkeeper keep things straight. Is ready to file the final plat, but there are improvements remaining that haven't been constructed and approved yet. Those consist of mostly road improvements, including landscaping and signage within the road network. The roads being some improvements to Running W Road and Cartage Road.
What sort of improvements?
I think building some parts of them, and then some landscaping and signage in those. I just don't think they've completely finished some of those road improvements. And I would tell you more specifically, Commissioner, but without my glasses, I cannot read the attachment that lists those improvements.
Do they have a letter of credit from a reputable bank?
Yep, there's their estimate of costs for these remaining improvements, including a 25% contingency, is $185,659. Missoula County Public Works approved of that estimate.
That's 5 running feet of paving.
It's probably not much asphalt. Their guarantee is secured by an irrevocable letter of credit for exactly that amount, $185,659.
From who?
Well, it's from an outfit in Spokane called Private Money Capital, which this particular developer has used before in earlier phases. I had some heartburn the first time they used this because it's not like a bank. But I did talk with Andrew Charney at that time, and we were able to get adequate assurances that Private Money Capital has money, and so in the event that the Missoula County would have to call on that line of credit, that
we could get the money.
We could get the money.
Okay.
We should check.
Yeah, and that earlier phase, they built all the improvements, and everything.
So they have a track
So
record.
they have a track record of following through.
Great.
Let's see, and they have 2 years to finish the improvements. They're going to be done on or before September 30th, 2026.
Sounds like there's someone online, potentially.
Dustin had his hand up and it's up again. Go ahead, Dustin.
Yeah, I was just gonna provide some input. I prepared the estimate and represent the developer, so speak to the improvements remaining. We have one piece of sidewalk across from the armory between Lady Slipper and Snapdragon. It was supposed to be completed with when the road that serves the armory was built, and we requested with Brent O'Connor that would carry that in a guarantee because we were already pushing $5 million in improvements. So that will be done. It's just going to be done in the future so that we can keep the costs down a little bit. And Brent agreed to that. And then we had one piece of asphalt about 200 feet in length on cartage that did not meet the thickness requirement. They were about an 1/8 inch thin on the thickness. So Knife River is currently in the process of replacing that section of asphalt. It just wasn't completed at the time that the developer was looking to file the final plat. So that is the piece of asphalt that you see listed under Cartage Road for about $11,000. And then there's some signs and white delineators and a little bit of boulevard landscaping.
Thanks, Dustin.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dustin. So are there any other questions about this improvements agreement?
Feel all right about it. I would request the board approve the subdivision improvement agreement.
Second, any further discussion? Okay, or public comment? All in favor? Aye.
And Annie, just so this improvements agreement doesn't get recorded,
Perfect.
once it's signed by the commissioners, you can send it to me.
Okay.
And it's up to the developer then to record it along with the other subdivision record documents.
Did we get an aye from Slotnick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't hear me.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Suspiciously quiet.
So the next action item is a request I've drafted a resolution for Missoula County to adopt those roads that have been dedicated for public use as county roads for the last year. These are roads between that have been dedicated by plat between September 30th, 2023 and October 1st of 2024. There's exactly one road that was so dedicated, and that is Ventura Way on the roller coaster subdivision. And the reason that we do this annually now, this is the second or third time that Missoula County has passed a resolution like this. Obviously, it's for different roads each year. That's because the legislature in 2021 added a provision to 7-14-2101 that says, until a Board of County Commissioners actually passes a resolution, a road that is dedicated to the public doesn't meet the definition of a county road for purposes of the statute.
Right.
And we've often wondered what the reason for this law was. And Karen Hughes thinks that it addressed some historical problem that existed in Ravalli County, but we're not exactly sure about that. But we're going ahead and doing this. And so you might have the question, well, what if we didn't do this? What would be the status of this publicly dedicated road right-of-way?
Thank you.
It just wouldn't meet the statutory definition of a county road. I think it would still be a public right-of-way that the public would still have the right to use. And Missoula County would still have the right to
Okay.
maintain
But also the right not to maintain?
and the right not to maintain, but with county roads, we have
We
that
have
same right not to maintain.
So what's the
Maintain.
change? What?
I think that if a road meets the statutory definition of the county road, there are some, like, for instance, if there was an egregious encroachment
Okay.
into that road, we have additional
Sure.
statutory options for dealing with that encroachment. But there's really, for all intents and purposes, there isn't much difference between a quote unquote county road and another public road right of way someplace in Missoula County.
We're just
But I would,
buttoning this up,
we're just
making it tight.
making it official
Okay.
because we've got our act together in
All
Missoula.
right, nicely done, John. Thank you.
And I can't take any credit for it. Sam Scott and Mike Tester are the ones that keep track of these.
Thanks to Sam and
Of
Mike.
these roads as they come in on the plat. So,
All right, I would request the board adopt roads dedicated to public use between October 1, 2023 and September 30th, 2024 as county roads.
Second, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Food Bank Network grant letter.
Yep, this is just a letter of support for the Montana Food Bank. They're applying for a grant, I believe through Public Services, that would help them expand their facility.
Republic?
I think so.
Didn't realize they had a foundation.
Oops, I just signed it. Sorry.
It's okay.
There's no,
Oh, there's no,
action. It's
okay,
just
there's no action.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
There's no
correspondence. So signing it.
Just updated it. Because we've done this
We've done it before. and they
before
didn't get
and
it
we're just
before.
updating it with like current.
Continue to
stuff.
support.
Okay, thank you. Well, okay, unless anyone has anything else, we're done.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Thanks. Have a great
Thanks,
Thursday.
everybody.